Hey everyone, we wanted to share with you this quick gameplay video to show you how Timemelters has evolved in the past few months. We've been hard at work on the multiplayer campaign, updated the UI, expanded our skill tree, and are creeping towards a complete alpha build. We've been polishing our echo mechanic, which is still front and center, and as a quick reminder, this mechanic allows the player to rewind time and create time echoes of themselves. These echoes will do exactly as the player did in the past. And with our deterministic system, as long as the player does not intervene, the simulation will always play out exactly the same. But what happens when the player intervenes? We've built something called the Time Distortion system to help keep track of these unforeseen circumstances, and we're going to detail it in this video. As before, at the start of every mission, the game is paused so the player has a chance to plan a strategy. In this mode, we can see where enemies are coming from, which paths they will take, and which enemy groups will drop mana when they die. This is the blue sphere above the heads of some enemies. As you can see, there are 3 enemy groups on this map. While we have many types of missions in Timemelters, for this one, our main objective is to save Lord Ermil and help him defend the bridge. After the strategy phase is done, the action phase begins. We can use some spirit mana to cast different spells, such as summoning an earth elemental to root some enemies. We can also use our Spirit Blast ability to knock down rushing enemies to give us a bit of breathing room. Now, we only have 1 HP, so if an enemy gets too close, you either die or go back in time. We've just rewinded time and created our first time echo. At any time, you can pause the game with Tab and see the impact you've had on the previous timeline. We call this Time Distortion. This system not only allows you to see everything that has happened, but also everything that will happen, allowing you to make strategic planning easier to manage. Also note the X over the enemies' heads, pinpointing which ones will die. So our plan of action is to avoid the enemies our echo will take care of and dispose of the rest. As long as we don't intervene directly, we won't create any time distortion, and the simulation will go exactly as it did before. Perfect. Now, let's pause the game again and go see what's happening over with Lord Ermil. It looks like he already died, but hope is not lost. Since we have 3 echoes left, we can still go back in time and save him. We can't just go straight to the bridge because of this big group of 30 Bone Walkers coming down the path. How about we use ourself as bait and create a distraction for our future self in the next timeline? Let's go up this ridge for now and lure them all the way up with us. We can also infuse a spirit with this tree to help slow them down a bit. If you were wondering how many echoes we had left, all you have to do is look at Tegan's wrist. The number of rings keeps track for you. Now, we go back in time a second time. We can see this entire group is going to die over the next 18 seconds, so long as we don't intervene. While the echoes fight this group, let's use our Spirit Sight ability. Maybe we can weaken the group of pawns near the bridge. In this mode, we can still cast spells anywhere on the map, which is really useful for missions with many faraway objectives to defend. Now we can use some of the mana we've collected to summon a fire spirit to help fight. It only has 1 HP also, so if a pawn attacks it, it will vanish. Unfortunately, they went straight for the elemental, and it vanished before it could fire all of its shots, with Ermil dying again. But it's okay. We still have many other tools at our disposal. Echoes are very versatile. We can use them, like we did before, as extra firepower to finish off the first group. But now, as this echo goes up the mountain, it will be bait, luring the enemies out of our way so we can get to Lord Ermil. Now, this is where things get really interesting. Some of our spells and abilities work outside of time. Our teleport spell is such an example. We can mark a teleport spot right here, next to Lord Ermil's dead body. Then, as we rewind time, our teleport spot is still there, meaning we can now cast teleport to travel back to Lord Ermil instantly, before he dies. We can now use our last spirit mana on this graveyard to raise Bone Walkers of our own. These are pretty weak, but they will get most of the aggro, allowing us to take more shots at the pawns. Good, pawns are dead, and Ermil is still alive. But now we have this huge group of enemies to deal with. Our Bone Walkers are engaging them, which did not occur in the past, changing the enemy's behavior compared to the previous timeline, thus causing time distortion. If we pause the game, you can see exactly the impact of this new behavior compared to the previous timeline. At this very moment, one enemy was supposed to be dead, but is still alive because of time distortion. The exclamation point above the head of the group tells the player that this group of enemies is not behaving like it did before, and thus, you'll have to adjust your strategy accordingly. But we still have a chance. We have one last echo. Since this is our last echo, now we truly only have 1 HP. If an enemy gets too close, or if Lord Ermil dies because of time distortion, it's mission lost. When we cast Spirit Sight now, we really get that feeling as if we're a general in a battle, watching all our pieces come together. All of these mechanics not only work great in single player, but we also have a full online co-op campaign that you can play with a friend. And by the way, if you like what you're seeing so far, check us out on Kickstarter, or wishlist us on Steam. Either way, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Alright, back to business. The time distortion system can also be used to see what's coming ahead. One of our echoes will infuse a spirit with this Son of the Great Oak Tree in 12 seconds, which we can use as a last line of defense. Now, all that's left to do is join our echo in battle and finish this group off. We hope you enjoyed this gameplay update. We have many other spells and features in the game, many different mission types, but we really wanted to show you the time distortion mechanic in this one. We're really excited about all these new changes and feel like we've increased the strategic potential that Timemelters has to offer, and we can't wait to see what strategies some of you come up with when you finally get the game in your hands. Thank you.